Alright, last time on Lost in Time, we managed to make our way through an undersea passage to this very familiar looking room in a sunken ship. Now we need to try to get into this treasure box. Problem is, there's an electrified wire across the lock, and an opening that supposedly contains lethal gas. We can't just look inside it. How the heck are we going to open this thing? Well, let's see. I'm going to need one more tool. So we'll look over here at this mast on the other side of the room, which just happens to have a pair of pliers holding a door open. Anyone recognize it? So maybe with that, we'll be able to cut our way through this wire. Yeah, I didn't think that would work. We need insulation. And strangely enough, we can use these cork floats to do it. Yet another punchline, woo! But as long as we're standing on the cork floats, we can touch the wire, no problem. And somehow it releases lethal gas without us even cutting the wire. So all we need to do is stick that copper wire on there, which we got way back when we opened the cabinet inside the manor. And now we can get it open. Of course, after all that, we can only get to the lock, and we've still got to break it. Pliers aren't going to do it. So we'll take our small pipe, which you may remember we last used for battery acid, and fill it with seawater that's pouring in from over here. We pour that in the lock. It's not acid, but there's a hint of acid. Of course, a fire extinguisher is enough to freeze the water inside the lock, and now we can smash it with a club. And did you notice what 3 items are left? This is indeed the end of the flashback, so let's see how this all ties back to the beginning of the game. Yeah, you may remember when we were talking to Yoruba earlier, we mentioned this sarcophagus. Here's where it all comes together. A glowing sarcophagus.
Do not touch that, miss.
Who are you? You frightened me. I didn't hear you come in.
And you, what are you doing there? You are too curious.
But this is my home. I inherited this manor. How did you get in?
My name is Jarlath. To be brief, I built this house, and all that is here belongs to me. Inherited, you say? You inherited it from me, then? Strange. Your face reminds me of someone I once knew in the past. Oh, yes, I remember who you are.
It's not important. This house was built in 1840. But I am sure I have never met you before.
I don't care if you understand or not. Your intrusion disturbs me. If I let you go, you could disrupt my plans.
You aren't going to kill me, are you?
Oh, no. But I have a better idea. And you can't do anything about it. Goodbye, miss.
As I ran after him, I was captured by a strange whirlwind that left me unconscious.
I know what happened. When Jarlath saw you, he jumped into the past. And since you were following him, you went back in time too.
So it really is possible to travel in time?
Oh yes. In the time I come from, it's possible to go back in time, but not into the future. A gold mine for dreamers and bandits. A committee was created to regulate travel in time. They enacted laws and established a police force. I was attracted by the adventure, so I joined.
And what is your mission?
I'm after the infamous Jarlath you met in 1992. He stole a sample of a superconductor that is extremely valuable to the Defense Department. Unfortunately, it is also extremely radioactive.
Ah, the sample must be what is hidden in the golden sarcophagus close to Yoruba. That explains the glow when I opened it. But what does Jarlath intend to do with it?
Thanks to you, now I know that this ship is going to sink off the coast of Europe. The treasure is going to be safe and close to the manor.
But since I inherited the manor, the owner, Jarlath, must be dead. And I am his descendant. He seems very much alive to me.
It may mean that in this time period we are in now, you are going to kill him.
Your theory is rather complex. I haven't killed him yet, but I have killed him.
Careful. Perhaps he will kill you. When he left, he said that he knew you, and then he went back in time?
Yes. He said that I looked like someone he knew in the past. What do you think he'll do? Kill one of my ancestors?
I think his plan is to eliminate you. We must stop him. He interferes too much with events. That could be disastrous. And now, what about untying me?
Well, anyway, I'm alive now, so he hasn't gotten rid of me yet. Don't move. I'll come back with something I can use to cut you free.
And there you have it. The entire net effect of having that flashback in the middle is, we got a small hook. And in case you didn't follow the whole storyline, the most important element is that Jarlath is going to try to kill one of Doralis's ancestors in the past, and we've got to stop him. So let's head back down to the hold, because I'm rather impatient to get to a secret that's been nagging me since the very beginning of the game. Now, you probably remember this locked box. We couldn't get this lock open before, but the small hook that we just picked up is exactly the tool we need. And we get clothing! Because if somebody's in a race against time for her life, I'd think the first thing she'd want to do is change clothes. Obviously, there's something more important in this box. A ribbon. Yeah, I'm not kidding. And she doesn't even put it on. There's also this spring in a hole in the bottom of the box. We need to use something to trigger it, but we don't have anything quite long enough. We can use the corkscrew, but yeah, not long enough. So we're going to have to come back to this box yet again later in order to find out what's inside the bottom. Meanwhile, that ribbon is going to be important for rescuing Melkior. Now, you may remember something that I forgot to go back and do in the first video, since it wasn't important to finishing the tasks I had for that video. We had this closet over here. And up at the ceiling is a buckle that we couldn't reach. And I said this oar would be perfect for reaching it, but it's too short. So, again, a puzzle that reminds me of Toonstruck. We need to extend our long implement by an arbitrarily short length in order to get it to reach the buckle. Now, I also pointed out these wooden pins that are in these racks. It's impossible to remove, and even if I use the pliers, it's impossible to remove them even by banging on them. Which is very misleading, and this is the puzzle that, back when I was playing through this game, not even the jokers really helped. because you need to use the pliers on a particular pin. And that comes out just fine. I always hated that. So we can use the ribbon to tie this wooden pin onto the end of the oar. And there we go, we've got a stick which is long enough to reach the buckle. It all makes sense, but mostly in retrospect. You use the plier on the pins, it doesn't work, you don't think, hey, I need to try this again. And of course, it's not able to grab the buckle, so that's why we needed to twist this nail with the pliers at the very beginning of the game, attach it to the end of the stick, and we get a boat hook. Finally, we can pull on it. It makes a noise from behind, and you may remember that on the other side of that wall was a porthole. It was previously impossible to open, and now it's still closed. Obviously, it's only open while the buckle is being pulled, so we're going to have to find a way to hold it in place. Now, it's obvious enough that here I go for the item in question without actually getting to the point where I need to use it. We need to attach the corkscrew to the wall, but we can't do it from this view, so we have to look particularly at the end of the buckle. And there's a small hole which you can stick the corkscrew into, and then tie the end around the corkscrew. Now we'll be able to look through the porthole and see what's outside. Alright, there's a thin rope and a bucket. And inside it is garbage. But we always need to click on things a second time, and then a third time before she finally decides to take a sawfish saw. Which, quite naturally, is the cutting implement that we've been looking for all this time. Not a whole lot of puzzle solving needed to get to this point, fortunately. And all we need to do is go back and use it to cut Melkior free. Of course, we need to open the door first, and another cutscene.
This was all I could find. Part of a sawfish, but it'll work. Okay, you're free.
Thank you, my dear. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Melkior.
My name is Doralice. Melchior, you say? Is this your notebook? I found it in the fisherman's cabin.
Yes, that's my mission log. I lost it a while ago. Now, we must teleport to St. Cristobal Island. We'll use my time pass.
Wait a minute. We have to take Yoruba with us.
Absolutely not. He'll only be a burden.
But I promised. If it hadn't been for his help, I wouldn't have been able to escape. And you owe him your freedom too.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's too risky. Look, we have no time to lose.
But he could be useful. Don't forget that he is Velvet's lover, Jarlet's wife. I am sure he could lead us to him.
Okay, you may be right. But how can we free him? Captain has the keys to his cell.
Well, let's go and get them.
Do you think Philibert is going to welcome you with open arms and let you rummage through his things? I have an idea. Let's go and see Oswald.
Are you sure that's a good idea? I've heard that sailors have terrible manners when it comes to women.
Oh, don't worry, he's no problem. He doesn't like the captain, and he's just waiting for a chance to start a mutiny. Oswald, let me introduce you to a charming passenger. I think she can help us with our plans.
Where did you find her? What's she looking for? Is she the one who set you free?
Well, She's my girlfriend. She didn't want me to leave her. Anyway, she convinced me to go back to St. Cristobal.
You want to go back? Me too. The captain must be crazy. He wants to sink this ship off the coast of Europe.
Right, there's no reason for us to die in a shipwreck. We'll do our share. Doralice is going to help us take command of the ship.
We can sure try, my dear. I'll tell the captain that we found you and he'll lock you up in his cabin. When you're in there, try to find his magic gun and bring it to me. The gun will only work with Philibert's magnetic rings. That's why everybody fears him. I know how it works, and the sailors will follow me. You had to be clever in order to get here. Anyway, we have no other choice. You must succeed. Let's go.
Psst. Doralice, meet us at Yoruba's cell with the gun. Try to find the key to his cell.
Well, Oswald, what are you plotting now? Still conspiring, are you?
Captain, I brought you something that will interest you.
Oh, yes, what a good find, Oswald. I'm lucky that we're not in the same league. Otherwise, you'd have kept her for yourself, right?
Looks like she escaped from her father who wanted to force her into marriage. I imagine, Captain, that you'll teach her what life is all about.
You are absolutely right, Oswald. She's something out of the ordinary. If I had known, I would have taken a bath before leaving. Well, my beauty, I'm going to lock you up in my quarters. I'll take care of you later. I'll leave you with Galippo, my parrot. And don't worry, I'm not going far. And don't try anything. Galippo will warn me.
So in other words, nobody on this ship appears to have any brains at all. And now we're locked in the captain's cabin, where he's got all his cool stuff. At least he did lock the door, so I can't escape. But there's nothing really to stop me from poking around all I want.
Ah! Thief! Thief! Help, Captain! Ah! Thief!
Well, except for the stupid parrot, but no matter how much he may squawk, he'll never actually attract the captain's attention. So I don't know why Doralice doesn't just go ahead and poke around even with the parrot shouting at her. But yeah, I'm gonna have to shut up the stupid bird before I can get anything done. And I'll have to find both the captain's gun and the key to Yoruba's cell. Plus, of course, I'm gonna have to find a way to get out of the room and meet Melkior. And I'll be taking care of all of that in the next exciting episode.